Hey, Daisy, are you there? What do you think you're doing missing New Year's with the family? You should be at my parents' house with the rest of us. Happy New Year's to you too, Lily. I'm so sorry that I couldn't make it over to the house. I'm sure you heard from your brother, but something very important came up for me and I wasn't able to go. What could possibly be more important than spending New Year's Eve with family? I'm sorry, but I had to work. In fact, I know a lot of people who had to work through the holiday. I know that some people have to work through the holidays, but why would someone who doesn't even have a college degree like you need to? What kind of job could you possibly have that wouldn't give you the day off today? I mean, I don't think my level of education matters. Lots of places stay open for the new year. But if you really want to know, I'm in charge of a big project in the office and I had some work I needed to get done on it. You really expect me to believe that you're in charge of anything? Why don't you just stop with all these excuses already and come back home? It really is just unacceptable that you're not here to help us celebrate right now. I really don't know why we always have to do things like this, Lily, especially after we've talked about this before. But I really don't like the way that you always harp on the fact that I didn't go to college. You always use that as a way to look down on me, and I really don't appreciate it. I mean, do you realize that I'm sending your parents, and by extension you, $1,500 a month? What are you talking about? I know that that money doesn't come from you. Obviously, that money that I use to pay for my school comes from my brother. How dare you even try to take credit for that? What's the matter with you? Are you serious? Is that really what you think? I know it, actually, and I know that you don't make enough to be sending that kind of money. So how about you just stop making all of these excuses and get over here already? Don't you realize how disrespectful you're being by not being here?
Daisy, are you there? I really am so sorry about what my sister was lying to you. I tried to explain to her about why you wouldn't be able to come, but I guess even my parents were calling you.
That's right. I actually wasn't able to get any work done thanks to them.
You mean they were calling and messaging you that much?
That's right. I finally had to mute both of them because my phone wouldn't stop going off. I'm sorry, but I really just don't want to talk about this until you get home.
I understand, but still, I just wanted to say how sorry I am for my family. I really did try to make them understand, but nobody listened to what I had to say.
Well, then you can't blame yourself for that. Besides, it was mostly just your sister making fun of me for not going to college. She was bragging about how everyone in your family went to such fancy colleges. And then was going on about how I'll never be able to find a good job with no degree.
I really just don't get Lily sometimes. She just has such outdated views of people that don't seem to change no matter what. Honestly, it probably would have been best if I stayed at home with you and didn't bother coming here.
Oh, what are you talking about? Of course you shouldn't have done that. Your parents love you very much, and I know that if you didn't go, it would hurt them a lot. I'm just sorry that your sister and I can't seem to get along no matter what I try.
Well, I'm starting to reach the limits of patience with her as well. I mean, we make sure that you and I are there for every other family event. So, I don't get why she has to treat you this way for missing one little day, especially when you have work that you need to do.
No, but well, I wish we could have been together today, but we're always so busy and our schedules never match up.
I know, and even when we do have time off together, we always end up spending it visiting my family. I think I'll have to try talking to Lily one more time about this. She can't keep behaving this way and thinking that she can get away with it.
Well, I really am grateful for how upset you're being on my account. In fact, that's really all I care about with all of this.
Of course I'm mad about this. You're my wife, and my sister shouldn't be allowed to look down at you like this. Especially since you do so much for her by paying for her school. I've explained this to Lily over and over again, but she thinks I'm just making excuses for you.
Well, I suppose she has it in her head that there's no way someone who doesn't have a college degree could send money like I do every month. But she also has no idea that I make over $100,000 a year.
I know, and I have tried to tell my family the situation over and over again, but I think if they won't listen, then I'll have to tell them I'm never visiting home again. Because I don't want to be around so-called family if all they're going to do is either make fun of you or not stand up for you.
Are you really sure that you want to do this?
Of course I'm sure. If they're not going to change, then we need to do something. Besides, I want to be able to spend the time that we have off together. I'll talk to my work and try to arrange it so that I can take some time off and you and I can be together.
If you're really sure about this, then I'll try and get my work done quickly too. Then hopefully we can match up these days that we'll take off together.
Perfect. In fact, tomorrow, why don't I take you out for a nice New Year's date?
What have you done? John just messaged me and said that he wasn't going to be coming over. He said that he was never going to be coming to visit home again. You mean he really did it? Oh, here I thought he might still go. But wow, well, at least I know that John really knows how to keep his word. What are you talking about? This is the worst. Do you have any idea how much this is going to crush my parents? My brother can't just cancel on us like this out of the blue. This is going to ruin the whole holiday. Well, I don't know why you're talking to me about this. It sounds like you should be talking to your brother. After all, did you even ask him why it is that he wouldn't be going this year? Of course I asked him why he was doing this to us. He told me it was because you don't like how I teased you about not going to college. And he said that you two already spend enough time out of the year visiting home. You did actually hear the reason, but I take it that wasn't enough to convince you? Do I seem convinced to you? My brother isn't going to be home this New Year's Eve because you don't like a little teasing. Well, it's not my fault that a failure like you married into a family full of so many accomplished people. You need to grow a thicker skin. You really just don't learn at all, do you? And I have no idea what John was talking about with coming home too often. We're a family. We should be together as much as possible. John doesn't live at home anymore, so it's only natural that he should be spending all of his time off coming to visit us here. And do you have any idea just how expensive it is having to travel to visit your parents so often in a single year? How much we spend on eating out and gifts and all that? By the time you account for a trip there and back for the two of us, airfare alone is usually around $1,500. And so what? Who cares about how much it costs to see family? That should be nothing, especially since John works for such a huge company. What do you mean by that? Wait a second. I know what's going on here. This is all a part of a plan of yours to prevent him from ever coming home again. You're mad that John is spending his money on visiting his family and not on you. That's why you're trying to keep him from visiting us. Well, I am not going to let you get away with this. You can mark my words. I really don't even know what to say to any of that. You think you can just use my brother for his money? Well, you've got another thing coming. I can tell you that much. He should have never married a woman like you. You're just trying to rob him blind. Wow, you have really taken this whole thing to another level. But I'll have you know that I was the one shelling out the money for all of the visits home. That's a lie, and we both know it. I know you could never manage to do something like that. You just keep calling John's money your money. But you didn't earn it, and so it's not yours. I won't let you keep leeching off my brother. You won't ever lay another finger on a penny of his again. You really think that I'm a parasite on your brother? Is that really how you see things? Of course. Who else would I be talking about? You didn't go to college. You only have a high school diploma, and yet you talk as though you're the one that pays for anything. You're nothing but my brother's gold-digging wife, and don't forget it. You won't get away with this. Okay, Lily, I really think that you need to calm down right now. In fact, I think that you might be confused about a lot of what goes on between your brother and I haven't gotten anything wrong at all, and I am not going to listen to your lies. I'm not lying when I say that I work very hard and contribute a lot to your parents and you. As for John not going to see you all this year, that was his own decision. I never asked him to do that at all. He came up with that all by himself. No, you're lying to me. You're always lying to me. I know that you're nothing but a gold digger. I'll never listen to the lies of a bottom feeder like you. But if you're not going to own up to the truth, I'll have to take matters into my own hands to save my brother. And just what are you trying to save him from? You, of course. I'm trying to save him from you, and I'll do that by convincing him to divorce you. I'll make him see that you're nothing but a leech and convince him to leave you far behind where you can't take advantage of him anymore. Okay, Lily, now this is really just getting to be ridiculous. I know that I've got you scared now. You can't even defend yourself. And soon you'll have nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. After all, I know that the town hall accepts divorce paperwork year-round with no days off. Wait a second. What do you mean? How are you supposed to divorce John and I? Oh, you poor stupid little thing. You see, I already sent out the divorce papers 35 minutes ago. You and my brother are already done. It's only a matter of time before he realizes that he doesn't need you anymore. Hold on a second, are you serious? Of course I'm serious. And now that you know that you and my brother are no longer married, I want you to pack up your things and leave. After all, I don't care where you end up since I get all the money I need from my brother anyways. You've always been a dead weight around here. Okay then, but I guess this means I'll stop paying for your schooling. What are you talking about? I'm talking about how I'm really at my limit with you, Lily. You keep making fun of me and disrespecting me. And now you're even saying that you've submitted paperwork to divorce me from your brother? I just don't see why I should show you any more patience after all of this. Oh, please. And what could someone like you even do, huh? I know it's my brother who sends my parents and I money. You can't threaten me with that. Especially since you and my brother are divorced now, remember? So now there's really nothing you can do. You really need to learn to stop getting so far ahead of yourself. I'll have you know that I already told John about what you've done, and he's talking to the county courthouse right now. Then he's coming back home. Wait, what? What do you mean? I mean that I really don't think you have any idea at all just how lucky you are. Not just you, but your parents as well. But all that is going to come to an end. And I don't care how much you cry to me about it. Nothing is going to change my mind. You can't do this to me. It's not fair. I had no idea that you were the one sending my family money this whole time. But it's already been a week since we normally get the money, and it still hasn't come. You have to send us the money right away. What do you think you're doing talking to me like this, Lily? Better yet, why are you coming to me about this when it's been John sending you the money? You should go and talk to your brother about this, not me. I tried. I messaged him and he told me that he was never ever sending us money in the first place. He told me that this whole time it was you sending us the money. Oh, really? And you actually believed what he had to tell you about that? Because this isn't the first time that he's said this and you just never listened to him. That's because I really thought that he was lying. I thought that he was just giving you credit for everything. But now John won't even answer me anymore. Please, you're all that I have left. I don't have anyone else who I can come to for help. Give me a break, Lily. I thought I told you to leave Daisy and I alone. You brag so much about getting to go to your niece's school, but you hardly have the brains to show for it. Wait a second. Is this John? Of course it is, and I told you that I was going to block you on everything. Not only that, but I told you that Daisy won't be sending you any more money. So how about you just leave us alone already? We're not in the mood to listen to you whine to us. In fact, I'm going to tell Daisy to block you too. Wait, you can't do this to me. Please, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. Please don't block me. I just really need this money. You have to understand. I really did think that it was my brother sending money to us this whole time. How am I supposed to pay for school without your help now? I don't care, and it isn't my problem, so quit bothering us with this. Even if she did choose to forgive you, I still wouldn't send you any more money. You aren't serious, are you? You wouldn't really do that to us, right? But please, John, you have to know that I really had no idea it was Daisy that was sending the money. But if she doesn't keep sending it, then I won't be able to graduate. I mean, I knew that she worked for some big company or something, but I thought she was just a nobody. I had no idea she could afford to send so much money to us. But I really had no idea about any of this at all. But the money always came in through someone's credit card, and I just always thought it was yours. You mean all of my plans have come to nothing? After giving Lily a piece of his mind, John blocked her on every single thing we could think of. Later, I heard through the grapevine that Lily asked her school to allow her a break in her schooling so that she could raise money to continue her degree. Meanwhile, her parents were freaking out since John's decided to stop talking to his parents as well. His parents were furious at Lily for effectively ruining the relationship between her brother and her parents. They demanded that if she was going to be living with them, that she would need to find a job and contribute to the household. I heard that because of all the hours of work Lily had to do, she was forced to drop out of her program. In fact, I've heard that Lily and her parents have all become recluses, Lily only leaving the house to go to work and come back. As for John and I, although it was tough for him to cut off communication from his family, he always said that it was his decision and he was glad that he made it. Thankfully, without as many visits to his parents' house, we've been able to spend much more quality time together. It had been an issue for us for so long that to have it suddenly solved was almost surprising. But we have been making the most of our newfound time together and always trying to make sure that we do something fun. I think that John has come a long way in coming to terms with his decision, and I think we're all finally starting to act like our old selves again. And having the extra money from not doing as much traveling and sending money doesn't hurt either. Hey sis, are you there? I heard something was going on with you, but I'm glad that everything seems to have settled down now. I always knew that you were so nice, but I can't believe that you put yourself through all of that just for me. You really are too kind. Do you know that? Tracy, I really wasn't doing what I did for your sake, you know. I broke off my engagement with my fiancé because I caught you two having an affair with each other. Well, I know, but you were engaged to a CEO. You know that it's always been my dream to marry a rich man, right? I don't even know what to say to something like that. Is that supposed to be an excuse? Well, I've just always wanted to live like a spoiled princess, you know? I really don't know. What in the world does that even mean in this day and age? Besides, where did a dream like this even come from? It isn't like we were horribly poor or fantastically rich growing up. Well, I know, but that doesn't mean that I can't want to marry someone who is really rich, because if I did that, then I would never have to work another day in my life. And now I found that man after all this time. It really is like a real-life Cinderella story, isn't it? I don't remember the scene in Cinderella where one of the ugly sisters steals her prince away. Are you sure we were watching the same movie growing up? Oh, come on. You can't actually be mad at me for taking him for myself, right? Don't you know that all's fair in love and war? You just gotta get over this. You think this is something someone can just get over? This isn't a toy or something that you stole from me this time. We aren't kids anymore. You're right. We're adults, and I think that you're forgetting your place right now. I stole your fiancé from you, and that's a fact. You just need to accept the fact that you've been dumped for the better woman. You think I've been dumped? Please. I wouldn't have taken Jerome back if he came begging for me to take him back. I wonder if you have any idea just how pathetic and desperate you sound. I really don't care what you have to say about this anymore. I am through with the both of you. You really don't get it. You aren't the one calling the shots here. Jerome left you for me. Do you understand that? And it's because you weren't enough for him. He chose me over you because it's clear that I'm the better choice. And that's why we had an affair behind your back, because you couldn't make your fiancé happy and now he's left you. I really don't care how you try and frame it. It is true that Jerome cheated on me and that's why we're not getting married. But do you see me crying and moaning over losing him? Whatever, I just know that you've gotten better at hiding it now, but you've always been a little crybaby ever since we were little. Now who's the one trying to act all tough? We both know that you were the one who would resort to tears right away. You're just trying to project your feelings onto me, but it's not going to work. You think that I'm crying over getting your fiancé? As if. I think it's hilarious. I couldn't be happier about this. You have no idea how long it's been my dream to marry someone like a CEO and never have to work again. It's like my whole life has been leading to this moment. You really have no idea what you're talking about, do you? But whatever, what's done is done. Oh, come on! You can't just be taking it that easy. Can't you send me a message in all caps or shout at me over the phone or something at least? I'm not going to do that, but you should know that Jerome is not a CEO. What in the world are you talking about? Of course he's a CEO. He's the boss of the company that you work for, isn't that right? Actually, we have joint management of the company, if you must know. Hold on a second. What is that supposed to mean? How can you both manage the company? Well, I actually started the company with my startup capital. Jerome just snuck his way up the ranks using connections of his. The company is, however, all mine. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. What in the world are you talking about? I mean that when we first met while working for different companies, I had just established mine, and as it grew, Jerome showed interest in helping out. Then we started to talk about getting married. After I got pregnant, the board insisted that I have a co-manager in case anything happened to me, and they selected Jerome. So then, you two had the same job at the same time, but the company was really yours? But then, I don't get it. Are you telling me that you're also the CEO of a company? I would say I'm more CEO than Jerome. After all, it was my money that began the company. And I'd double check about Jerome still being a CEO since he would have been fired by now. Fired? What do you mean by that? I mean that once the board found out that Jerome was cheating on me, they asked him to step down and began a full investigation into him. It turns out that he was using company money to take you out for meals and on dates. So the board had more than enough evidence to fire Jerome right then and there. In fact, I believe all of this happened last week. Last week? Are you sure? He hasn't told me anything about any of this. Well, you might want to go and try talking to him about some of this in that case. But then, Doesn't this mean that Jerome isn't even a CEO and that I won't actually be marrying a really rich guy? That's what you're worried about? I tell you that Jerome was embezzling from the company, something he could go to jail for, and that's all you care about? You're just lucky the board already agreed not to press charges as long as Jerome pays the money back. Of course, we are prepared to press charges if that doesn't happen. But I was supposed to live life like a princess. I thought I had stolen your man away from you with my charm and good looks. But now you're telling me that the man I stole from you doesn't even have a job? Yeah, and I don't imagine he has much in the way of savings, given how lavishly Jerome likes to live. But why didn't you say anything about this to me sooner? You should have warned me about him. Ugh, I never want to talk to you again. Are you really saying that to me? Oh, that message isn't showing up as read. Well, okay then. Have a nice life, sis.
Hey Mabel, are you there? What the heck is the matter with you, huh? Why the heck did you have to go and tell your sister that I wasn't the CEO of our company anymore, huh?
First of all, it isn't our company. It's always been my company. Second of all, don't be upset just because I told my sister the truth. Not only about your job, but also all about how you were fired. After all, it's not like I ever promised that I wouldn't tell her.
You little... Don't you realize what you've done? Now she doesn't want to marry me anymore. You've messed up my whole life with this.
Oh, so you mean you've managed to fumble marrying 2 women now? You've really got to work on that, Jerome.
You would like to think so, wouldn't you? But it shows what you know.
And just what is that even supposed to mean, huh?
I mean that I wanted to see how you would react. The truth is that I talked to your sister and smoothed things out. So we're still going to be getting married.
And just what kind of lies did you have to tell her to get her to go along with that?
I told her that the reason I chose to step down from my position as CEO of our company is so that I can do and start my own company. And I've already been preparing for this for a long time. After all, I was the one who took our company to where it is today. I know all about how to raise a successful company from the ground up now.
You're really going to start a company all by yourself?
What? Like it's hard? I'm going to start a company and it's going to grow far beyond what you could ever imagine. I'll dominate the industry and become untouchable.
Well, you might know how to found a company, but that doesn't mean that you're any good as a manager. And I don't think you've ever shown any promise there anyways.
Are you kidding me? You're just jealous because I left you and our company to go start my own with my new woman.
You can't actually think that I'm jealous of either you or my sister, right? You realize how stupid you sound, don't you?
Whatever. You're the one who doesn't know what you're talking about. Tracy and I are going to live happily ever after while your company just crumbles without me. Just stay out of my way and never try to interfere with my life again.
I really don't care what you and my sister choose to do with your lives, but you do realize that you need capital to start a business, right? Do you have that kind of money? Because I know that you still owe me for the legal fees from your affair.
You think a genius like me needs to waste my brain power on small details like that? I have big plans, and when I tell them to the bank, they're going to have to give me my loan. And I'll get the loan and start my company and have everything up and running in 6 months.
6 months, huh? You really think you can handle doing all that in such little time? Well, in that case, I want you to pay me what you owe me right now.
This is why you always used to get on my nerves. The second you saw that I was going anywhere in life, you would always find a way to try and hold me back. Why can't you just be more like your sister and let me do whatever I want without making little comments on it?
If you've got a problem with constructive criticism now, just wait until you're in a boardroom meeting. Besides, you knew that I was like this when we first started dating. Did you really expect me to change?
You know, I never even wanted to be engaged to you. But I knew that it was the only way to hold on to my position and my power. But then I met your sister, and I realized I didn't have to sell my soul to live like this. What your sister and I have is true love, and it's going to give us the success we need.
Well, I really do hate to stomp on your dreams, but let's just hope that it's true love that you two have.
Of course it is! We've tied together and nothing is ever going to come between us.
Well, good luck with that. I just hope that you two can stay together long enough to be married.
You'll see. We'll prove you wrong. We'll prove everyone wrong. And then you'll realize that you should have never underestimated me. Just now that I'm never going to work with your company again. So when I'm dominating the industry, you'll have to struggle just to keep the lights on.
Well, you have to have found your own company and get it off the ground first, so good luck with that. And do hurry up and send me the money that you owe me, okay?
Oh, you'll just have to wait for that. But don't worry. Once I have all my success, I'll be sure to pay you back that money with interest. And then you'll realize that that's only a taste of the wealth I'll have. Then you'll see how wrong you were about me.
Hey there, Mabel. I just thought you should know Jerome and I moved in together. At first, I was worried about all the things you were telling me about him, like how he wasn't a real CEO or how he embezzled from the company. But then he finally started his own company. And now we've moved into an amazing condo, and we're the happiest that we've ever been. It's amazing. You moved into a condo together with Jerome? Because I haven't even heard anything about him creating a new company. Well, I suppose that's probably because Jerome just runs in different circles from you, doesn't he? This is where we're going to move into. He told me that he already paid for the condo and that they're just getting it ready for us. Oh, wait a second. I think I recognize that view. Isn't that Mammoth Towers? You mean even you've heard of this amazing luxury condo building? Yeah, I have, actually. Do you know what room you're going to be living in? And just why would I share that with you? Don't tell me that you're going to try to break in and try to steal Jerome away from me. Because you should know that the building has guards in it and someone like you won't be allowed in. Right. Well, in that case, I guess you shouldn't worry about telling me the room number. Whatever. If you must know, the room number is 2305. So you're on the 23rd floor then? That's right, we're almost at the very top of the building. I've never gotten to stay in a place so nice. We're finally going to have our happily ever after. Well, it's just kind of funny because that's my unit. Wait, what? What in the world are you talking about? Do you really think I'm going to buy a lie like that? You have to come up with something better. I'm not kidding you at all. I own unit number 2305 in Mammoth Towers. Oh, just stop it already. Jerome sent me that photo from his phone. He was inside the unit and everything. There's no way that you own the building that we're about to move into. That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, yes, I'll say the interior does look like it's changed a lot. Although you should know that I got that unit because we bought it from Jerome's parents. But the building was under his dad's name for a while. Well, now you're not making any sense at all. How can it be your unit if it's under Jerome's dad's name? Okay, I guess I'll have to explain the whole thing then. So, that building was finished about a year ago. Around then, Jerome's dad thought to invest in the building company, thinking he would see some big returns. He bought a unit hoping to make a quick buck flipping it, but he wasn't able to pay for the whole thing. So then he came to me and asked me to buy it. So then, you're telling me that you bought this unit from Jerome's dad who couldn't afford to get one himself? Pretty much, yeah. But now that I look at this photo, I can see that this is from when Jerome's dad still took care of the place. And that's why it's so different from how I have the unit looking now. But this can't be right. I mean, Jerome said that he and I would be moving in there. I already have my bags packed and everything. Well, I don't know what to tell you, except that it's not Jerome's place to choose what to do with it. How could you do this to us? What's the matter with you? I didn't do anything. In fact, you were the one who said that you never wanted to talk to me again. So how is this all coming back on to me? Because we're supposed to go and live in that big condo building. We were supposed to have our happily ever after there. Why Why do you always have to ruin things for me, Mabel? You're the worst sister ever! Look, I know this is probably a lot for you to take right now, but you can't blame this on me. But it's not just now. You've always stolen everything I wanted from me, even when we were little. I didn't steal anything from you. In fact, you would always take from me. Whenever I tried to get it back, you would instantly start crying to get Mom and Dad on your side. But it's not fair. I want to live in that big condo. It should be all mine. Well, it was never yours nor Jerome's to begin with. A while ago, Jerome's dad needed money right away and offered to sell me the condo for the price he had put into it. I bought it and have been living there for a while. That's how I know that the interior looks different now. I don't know why Jerome thinks you two are moving in, but it's just not going to happen. If anything, I think that this is just one small part of a much larger lie that he's telling you. But this really isn't my problem anymore. Please don't bother me with stuff like this ever again. It turns out that when it was time to move, Jerome ended up taking my sister to go and move in with his parents. Apparently, they were in serious debt, and this was part of the plan to use Jerome and Tracy to pay off their debts. Tracy was messaging me, begging to help get her out of there, but I just read her texts and then blocked her number. She tried living with them for a couple of months, just hoping that this was all part of Jerome's plan to start his own company. Of course, he had never really even begun the process and was lying to Tracy this whole time about his intentions. I heard later from my parents that they ended up bailing out Tracy and rescuing her from her in-laws' house. Now, both my mom and dad are keeping a very close eye on Tracy and making sure she finds a job and learns some responsibility. As for me, life went on as normal. Nothing Jerome or Tracy did really ever had a chance to affect me. I told my parents that I wouldn't be doing anything to support my sister, and they understood and agreed with me.